Here's the thing. I really wanted to interview you for several reasons. One is that to me, you're the Bod Garage champion. Okay.
Thank
Uh,
you.
we've been working on this company and building it for almost I guess it has been 3 years now. And of course, you know, I had you had reached out. You had reached out to me, and I'm not really sure where you found us. Was it on Facebook? Is that where you found us, or was it?
That's a good question. I'm going to go with yeah, because I think that's how I initially contacted you, was through Instant Messenger on Facebook.
Yeah, or it may have been on a group. I don't know. It may have been Men Over 50 or something like that.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And
Yeah, well, maybe.
I think that I had put a post in there or something. And I think that's actually how the first time you responded, and either I reached out to you or you reached out to me. And then it just kind of went from there. But I'm gonna come back to that. But I think where we need to start is when you came on the program. How old were you when you came on the program?
Just probably like 4 or 5 days short of when I officially started. 5 days short of 51. So I was 50 when I talked to you in like late November, and then I officially started January, which my birthday is like the 7th. So it was like just a few days before 51.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. So I'm laughing because November to January, I think you were somewhat hesitant to come on the program.
I probably was, yes. That was for sure. Yes.
I think Allie even said something to me 2 or 3 times, like he is either really checking you out, and I'm glad that you did. But kind of go through that process. What was it that made you eventually just say, okay, I'm gonna give these guys a shot?
Yeah, I think for years I was looking for maybe the answer. Everybody's looking for the answer to, how to get to where you want to get to. And I've been lifting, and I'm a teacher, so I'm always around athletes and coaching. And so I think I was always looking for something that could get me to where I wanted to be, because I was always a lifter, like to do running and all that stuff. But I couldn't find, something that I could follow, I guess, that made me seem like things were going to go to where I wanted to go to. And to me, at that point, when I met you, it was, I follow this person on the internet. I follow this person on the internet. You find out that these people, for me personally, were they would take supplements that maybe supplements I wouldn't take, or just doing extreme things. So everything was, at that time in my mind, was like keto. You got to do keto to get thin. You got to do, you can't eat for 16 hours, and then you're gonna. So I dabbled in that for maybe a week or two each, and then nothing really changed. And so by the time I was talking to you, it was probably at that point where I'm like, here's a guy that sounds like he's doing things the right way, but how do I know that it's going to actually get to where I want to get to, or it's going to work.
Yeah.
So that's really where I was at when we met. And that's probably, and you're nailing me, really well. I'm that way. I ask many questions. I don't trust very easily. And that comes across because I don't like to be scammed, and I don't like to have people tell me that, the world is beautiful, and find out that, it's just a ploy. And so that's probably where we were at. And I really wanted, I guess, personally, to find something that was beyond just lifting, because, again, I'm a coach and a teacher, so I'm in the gym all the time. I can lift whenever I want, and I have been for, since I've been young, but never looked like I wanted to. And I guess the only time that I ever looked that way in my mind was when it's probably, 10, 12 years ago, when all I did was run. and I would just run, 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 and not really lift a whole lot. So I basically, depleted myself of muscle and whatever. I was extremely thin. I'm probably got down to 150 pounds. I think I went down like 30 pounds in 4 or 5 months because of that. And so up until that point, I guess I thought that's the only way. It's the only way to get thin again was to, eat less and run, 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 run. And as we get older, as you know, that's not as easy, even though I can still do it. It's not fun either to do that all the time. So the fortunate thing is, I'm probably getting ahead of myself with these answers, but your plan of just, hitting the nutrition markers, the macros, and even having that one cheat meal, which really felt like cheating when we get to that day, it did its trick. I mean, I was a believer after I started seeing it, within a couple of weeks, and I'm so glad that it was the answer in reality, because it's something that everybody can do, because we're just talking about things going in your mouth, as opposed to even, I'm a lifter, but none of that had anything in my mind to do with what I ended up looking like, because I lifted heavily before. It was the fact that I stayed on track with the macros, enjoyed that massive cheat meal on Saturdays. And, I looked at my numbers again today when I got ready to talk to you. And within 2 months, I was down, I think it was almost 15 pounds. And within 2.5 months, I was almost 17 pounds down. I mean, I know that's quick, but it wasn't because I starved myself. It wasn't because, it was actually just following numbers and having a massive cheat meal on Saturdays. And I got to look like I wanted to look like quickly. And it was all about just eating, honestly.
Yeah. I know people don't understand how important it is. So many people think that you get it done in the gym, and in reality, that's really, you gain strength, and you can build muscle, but in order to really change your body, it always comes back to the nutrition part of it, which is the harder part. Anybody can getting to the gym. A lot of people struggle getting up and getting in their car and going. Once they get there, they're okay. But that's really the only hard part about the gym. You can go in and anybody can work out, but it's the discipline that you had, for sure, to make sure that you were focused and you were consistent, and you saw the results. How long did it take? And I'm gonna say it in this aspect, but you and I both know that you probably really haven't reached your ultimate goal, but
right.
Because you're continuing to work on it. But how long did it take? Well, we've got before and after pictures. Okay. How long did it take to get from day one until that other picture in that side by side?
Yeah, I think when we took that picture, I took it, it was probably 6 months in at the latest.
Yep.
Yeah, we and I know you'll remember this too. I would say right around the 5-month mark, we started to consider lean bulking, because I had dropped to that, to a point where I felt like I was good enough, and that we might try to put a little bit of muscle on and then cut, which is what we did, a little bit more. So I would say, those pictures are about 6 months apart, which, went fast. It sounds long, I'm sure, to some people who are starting this out and are going to look at this and go, oh man, 6 months seems long. But, in that process, it's not like you go from, day one to the 6-month mark. You have progress along the way, and it just drives you. And the next thing you know, like you said, if you're consistent, 2 months go by, 3 months go by, until the point where I felt like I'd hit really, a point where I was as light as I wanted to be, and I started to look, muscular like I wanted to look.
Yeah. Before you came on, physically, how did you feel? How did you feel about yourself? How did you feel as far as where you were physically at that time?
Yeah, and like I said, I do a lot of coaching, so I think I always feel younger than I look. So I'm always like running, during cross country season, and lifting otherwise. So I guess in my mind, I felt fairly, good as far as being in shape. And what it's important to probably understand is, like, the pictures don't lie. when you look in the mirror and then you see the pictures, you know, and I'm not going to say that, you know, some people would look at those initial pictures and go, oh, you looked okay. When I took that first picture in January, you know, you asked me my mindset then, and it would have been, you know, I feel pretty good. I feel healthy. I feel like you know, I look good and kind of thing. But once I looked at the picture, that was hard for me, you know, that to take that first picture and to look at it, you know, as analyzing it and realizing that, you know, I was nowhere near physically what I wanted to look like. And I didn't feel, you know, eating wise, I did fairly good, but I just, you know, you realize that some foods aren't just, they make you feel ways that you don't want to feel, which are bloated
Yeah.
and heavy and, you know, retaining water and all that stuff. So, yeah, I would say that I probably was probably mentally more distraught than I was anything else, because, you know, just the realization that, you know, I didn't look like I wanted to, even no matter how hard I was working in the gym and thinking I was eating correctly, it wasn't even close to where I wanted to be.
Yeah. That, you know, that's pictures tell 1,000 words.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about photos is we look at ourselves every day and we don't see the subtle changes. But if you once you're on the program and you take a 30-day increment and you put them together, then you look at them and you can really tell a lot. You can tell a lot that you didn't see from your initial picture, and you can see a lot that you didn't see from your 30-day or 60-day or 90-day photo. And it's just, you know, I call it, it's when the magic happens, you know. And so, yeah, it's hard for individuals to see the subtle changes on a day-to-day basis. And sometimes those first photos are hard. I mean, they're really hard. They're really hard to take. And, but, you know, I'm so thankful that we have our clients do that, because in 90 days, you know, if they follow the process, then, you know, they've got something to look back and say, you know what, I conquered this, you know, I did this. Yeah. Wade and Allie gave me the tools, but I put the work in.
Right.
And that's, you know, that's the most gratifying thing that Allie and I get out of this whole business is to see people that can succeed in this area of their life. And it gives them a self-esteem that they might not have had in order to go into other areas of their life and succeed in other areas of their life that maybe at one time they never thought that they could do. And
I agree. Yeah.
That's really one of the main things that Allie and I really, really love about this job that we have, is that through this, we can change people's lives in other areas of their life also. So
yeah,
we love it. What do you feel was unique about us, and what do you feel helped you the most?
Well, I think this will probably be, I don't know if cliche is the word, but you were down to earth. And I think that helped me as we started to do things and talk weekly. So we always had the one, you know, talk a week. And when anybody doesn't feel like a number, when you don't feel like a number and you feel like you're actually talking to somebody that one cares, or, you know, it's not, again, just invested in cashing a check and getting your money and telling you something that you could learn on your own and that kind of thing. I think that made a big difference. So to me, it was just the ability to not only trust what you guys were telling me, but just to, you know, to feel like I was talking to somebody, a new friend that I had met and was willing to help. And then really that kind of ties in. So, you know, for your future clients to know that once we got to a certain point, you were the first one to kind of say, if you feel like you're at a good place and you don't need the company anymore, then, you know, we're good. And not only, you know, did I make that decision and kind of, you know, go off of that, but, you know, I guess case in point, now we're still talking after, you know, several months of that. So that just solidifies the fact that, you know, You're not you're not a company that's just out to make money. You're a company that's out to help people and not just to cut them off when the money's not coming in, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's what you're used to. That's what people like me are used to. It's how much can you pay, and we hope that you are succeed. And once you're done paying us, good luck. And I don't know. To me, it means a lot.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that greatly. And you've been, well, we can't express, we were in awe. I mean, number one, we knew you had the discipline, and we knew that you had a goal, and we knew that you were going to reach the goal. We knew that. We didn't know how long it was going to take, but we knew that it wasn't going to be a great deal of time. And when that time came, that we knew that we had taught you everything that you needed to know in order to go off and do this on your own and live this lifestyle and know what to eat, that, our job was done, to be perfectly honest. And Allie and I had this conversation probably for a couple of days before I ever mentioned it to you. That's what we want to do. We want to work ourselves out of a job. And as soon as we have a client that has gotten to that point, then, we want them to feel like that they can go on their own. And, because, we're not going to be around forever, and we had just gotten to that point with you where I finally said, you know what, I think it's time for Ron to do this on his own. I don't know anything else, to be perfectly honest, that I can teach him. He's gone from where he was. He's gone through a cut. He's gotten down to where he's shredded. And now you're back to tons of calories.
Yeah, I'm enjoying that.
And gonna, pursue another level. You're gonna build muscle, and then probably you'll cut down again at some point whenever you get ready. Buddy, I tell you, I think that you're definitely always going to be on our posters. Always on the front page for sure. And we hope that you're proud of what you've done.
Absolutely.